Hi and welcome to Scott's Inverts. I'm Scott. These are Luke's Inverts because we are at Spa Spiders, not SPA.
Not SPA.
Not
Spa.
SPA. I've got in trouble with Luke and his dad so many times for calling it SPA. Speaking of your dad, he's not here.
No.
And if I do not ask you about mystery boxes, they're going to kill me. Every single subscriber. Obviously, when you do them, they're like another level. So, what's your thoughts on cracking some more of those out in the future?
It's something in the future. We're gonna have to get it by my dad. But I just don't want to fill them all with spiderlings. And I like to make them good, and I like to, I want them to be epic. And the next 3 weekends we're at shows, so not just yet, but let me catch up a little bit, and I think we can do some more. Yeah.
Definitely going to be doing some for BTS.
Oh yeah, BTS. Every year at the BTS, there'll be mystery boxes and lots of them. So we're actually saving spiders now and holding them back specifically for the BTS show.
Superb. So we had a quick look round. Obviously that was at the very, very start. How many spiders have you got here at any one time?
It would be...
This is literally like a spider keeper's wet dream.
It's hard for me to say. I would probably estimate here at the moment a good 3,000, I'd say.
Of course, I mean, when you come around feeding, chuck a doobie in, job done. But then when you're looking at your slings, how long is it taking you to feed all those?
So the slings, I don't actually mind doing them. So with the slings, I pull them all out of this room. I sit in front of the TV, put on some Netflix, watch some football, watch Scott's Live, and just sit there feeding maggots. Honestly, maggots are a godsend. If you've got a lot of spiderlings to feed, it makes it so much quicker. Forget chasing crickets.
That's what I do now with the maggots. Just go down the fishing tackle shop, get half a pint of pinkies, bump, 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 bump. And I suppose with those maggots as well as, you ain't got to worry about them sort of hurting the slings in any way, because if they don't get eaten, they're just going to catalyst and they'll pop up as a fly and then the spiders.
It's quite interesting actually when it comes to doing the rounds of feeding from the previous week, because the amount of flies that I let loose in this house is madness. Madness. But yeah, no, the maggots were a godsend, and to feed all the biggest spiders in here, I have to spread it out over a couple of days. They get fed Dubaias, having to use crickets at the minute because I haven't got enough Dubaias. But yeah, it's a big job, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
How did you go from literally just being a hobbyist to going, do you know what? We'll take the next step, we'll start breeding, we'll start buying and selling, and then we'll set up as Spa Spiders?
Well, I mean, it was never a plan of mine to set it up as a business. I've always just kept spiders because I was fascinated. I got into the breeding when I was really young. I remember, the one that I do remember is the Avicularia genesis, or the Prue Purple. I bred that when I was 13. And over the years, I've just found it really interesting with the breeding and just with how hard it is and, doing the conditions. And for me, there's nothing more rewarding than pulling an egg sac and opening it up and having success. And then over the years, as the spiders just kept mounting and I was doing more and more breeding, it came to the BTS show, which we've gone to since I was yay big all the way up until now. So we got a table there, no business name, just put my own name, and we had a really good day. And then from then, it's just grown into what it is today.
That's pretty awesome. So basically the hobby for you has just got bigger, as opposed to getting a business. And
for me, it's just a passion. Like, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. Like, with the feeding weekly, I mean, it is hours and hours and hours, and I just love it, so for me, it's just a passion. And whenever we go to the shows, we're always buying new spiders for ourselves, we're always growing our own collection, and the aim really is just to keep moving forward with it. I want to, at some point, have a unit and have everything set up. I want all the glass tanks. I want it to sort of be like a zoo almost. I want people to come in and be like, wow. It's a shame because with a lot of these ones over here, they do a really good job of hiding, so we can't see a lot of them, so it's a shame. But
I find every time I get the camera out, that's it, the spider.
Oh yeah, gone.
Gone completely.
But what I would say is if you can't see your spider, that's a happy spider.
Yeah, very, very true. When that Zeus type unit happens, you know, if you need somebody to come and work for you, I live literally up the road.
Oh, definitely.
Nudge, nudge. So, I mean, we videoed, let's say, not even half of your collection because the majority of it's like at the front of the rack in, but then there's what you guys at home don't really see is the like millions of slingpots behind, and then the stuff you've got down there.
And it's a shame as well, because I mean, what I've got here, I've got some wicked stuff here, but then going over to my dad's place, he's also got a collection not quite as big, but he's got a collection almost as big as his house too. So yeah, it's definitely a team effort. Without my dad, spiders wouldn't be a thing. To have his help and his support, and him to do the feeding of the spiderlings, I mean, he does a lot more than I do. Yeah, between us both, we've got a good few spiders.
You've got a lot of catching up to do with your dad though, as far as the big.
Oh yeah,
he has got the epic. Literally
like. I've just cut mine a little bit short. I do need to definitely grow it out. I'm sort of regretting it, but now it's winter. It's bird season, isn't it? But it's not even winter. It feels like it's today, but it's not. It's September.
No, the only problem I've got now is next time I see your dad, because I've done the mention of the mystery boxes.
Yeah.
So he's gonna. That's down to you guys. Keep asking, like, but he is gonna kill me.
And we're over at Coventry soon. So
for the Coventry show?
Yeah, for your home show.
Wicked.
So we are at Bedford next Sunday, and then after that it's the AES, I want to say.
The entomological show down in Kent, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's on the first. That one's actually on a Saturday, and then the weekend after that will be at Coventry. So yeah, it's a busy few weeks coming up.
I think Chris is on wheels is going to be giving us a lift, along with Lou Pang, who's actually doing the cameraman job today. A lift over to Bedford. I nearly said Bedworth there, but a lift down to Bedford. Coventry one, definitely going to that. The day before Coventry, there's actually a vape expo in Birmingham, so we could manage to get a lot of free tickets to that.
Oh,
so that weekend's going to be absolutely insane. Like, the next question is, when are you still going to start doing merch that you can?
So I was
sell out to people.
I was thinking about this, and a lot of people have asked about the t-shirts, but for me, if I'm to sell merchandise, I want to be using the profits of that to a good cause. I don't really want to be selling merchandise and selling my logo and, you know, making money for myself. So I'm thinking along the lines of maybe Save the Bees, something like that. So that is something that I want to do going forward, but I just want to find like the top quality materials. I don't want to be putting out t-shirts.
I don't think anybody would blame you for going, do you know what, if I make £1 on a t-shirt or £2 on a t-shirt, it's all part of the business, because you obviously plough so much more money into this than what's realised, do you know what I mean? Because you must sort of obviously do your own breeding, so you've got to buy males, you've got to buy females. I'm going to assume that sometimes you buy slings in as well as.
Yeah,
always. So those costs.
So any spiders that we buy in, if I don't have that in my collection, I don't sell them all. I'll always keep some. But we're always on the lookout for females. Like I say, every show that we go to, I come back exactly like I was before we were a trader. I always come back with my own stuff. So no, yeah, it's good. But no, I definitely want to put the profits of that into a good cause.
That was one of the first things that attracted me to your table, was not because because obviously I didn't know you at the time, but you could just tell it was like you were there with your brother and your dad, and it's just a family run. Do you know what I mean? Family run store.
Oh, they all help out.
It doesn't look like it's an organisation like the bigger stands. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously started chatting to you and your dad. It's just a wealth of information. Every single spider that you've got out, you're always like any information that you need to. That's that. It all comes across. Do you know what I mean? So where do you see it going in the future? You're going to move it kind of.
So I mean, I do want to move for here, and like I say, I do want to build a specialist unit. I haven't really.
That would be incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any major plans. I mean, this is just my hobby. It's not just a business; it's my hobby as well, and I'm quite happy with where it's going. I just want more spiders. There's the thing with the spiders is I find there's always something out there. I mean, I'm surprised all the time. The amount of new species are coming out. I'm never going to have them all, and that's just exciting. And I definitely want to do more with the breeding.
See, the issue you've got now though is you've gone from not only keeping tarantulas but having true spiders.
Yep.
That's another whole new world opening up. So I mean, why did you kind of start taking a look at true spiders?
I mean,
when I say true spiders, I mean other spiders, which is just not any other spiders other than tarantulas.
I mean, for me, I've started getting into them. I've always been fascinated, not so much as the tarantulas, but it's nice when it comes to doing the rounds of feeding to have something a little bit different, you know. Yeah, like I've got a couple of centipedes, I've got scorpions as well. I mean, tarantulas are the passion, but the trues, I mean, I know they're not really a true. They're a little bit in the middle. They're a megalomorph, I think it is. The megalomorph, that's it. Yeah. But the Linophelli, I'm really enjoying keeping them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you see these ones, we've fed some of these today. So we got the Megaphiloides there. We got the Phalanx here, and these, for me, are really something. I mean, I can't believe I've gone so long in this hobby without owning them, because they're just stunning. I mean, with the webs that they make, they're fascinating, they really are, and the growth rate on them is unreal.
What shocked me with especially with the Phalanx, I've not got much experience with the Megaphiloides or the Siricata, is the speed of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental. They just sit there, you take the lid off, they're all quiet, they're not doing much. Chuck a cricket or a dubia in, and suddenly just out of nowhere this nightmare goes whoa,
yeah,
and that's it, smash.
I like to challenge myself, so that's like sort of like where you got into the centipedes as well, because I like something that gets the heart racing a little bit. And the spiders, I'm so used to the spiders, so dealing with a centipede and especially packing them up ready for the shows in the little boxes, that's fun. I quite enjoy that. So, but yeah, the Linophelli are amazing, and I definitely want to get into more of the trues for sure. And I want to even look into breeding the centipedes, but I've heard of a few ways that you go about sexing them.
Yeah.
One's to knock them out with gas, and the other one's to drown them. So maybe not just yet, but that is something I definitely want to look into.
It's the centipede sexing is really, really strange one, because people are either all for it, you know, going for the drowning or going for the gassing, squeezing the back end and seeing if the sexual organs obviously come out the back, so you can see if it's male or female. And then the other half of the keepers are like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's savage. It is,
and it isn't. There isn't no in between. It's like Marmite. People either love the idea or they absolutely hate it, and they do both so really, really fiercely. But talking about that kind of speed and getting the heart pumping, about DWA in the future?
Yeah, so this is something we were talking about earlier. So in the future, I've been toying with the idea, but I've always wanted to have a hot room, and it's more so just for me. It's nothing to do with business. It's just something that I want to challenge myself with. And I mean, some of the, I'm not too much into reptiles, but some of the snakes are stunning. And then some of the spiders, and especially the scorpions. I mean, there's so many cool scorpions out there. And it's just something that I want to play around with. It's like a challenge. It's definitely something that I won't be doing drunk or hungover. It's going to be one day a week where I'm like, right, that day.
Luke being hungover at the shows is literally just a staple. If he's not hungover at his show, there's something wrong.
I think it's a lucky charm. Yeah. But I should probably lower it a little bit. But in the future, that's definitely something that I want to look at. Yeah,
that would be absolutely incredible. Have you even looked at any of the species of scorpion, or have you just...
Not so much, no. I mean, because I've been doing the spiders since I was 11, I'm going to be 28 soon, it's sort of second nature to me now, and dealing with the spiders, even when I get the ones running, even with the Perslophia, comes to rehousing, I'm really confident with it now, and I think dealing with something such as a DWA species, that's always going to have your blood pumping.
Do you think you've like done so much for spiders? The passion obviously is still there for the spiders, but now you also want that.
It's just sort of like
next challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
The spiders still.
Yeah. I mean, the tarantulas will forever be my passion. Forever be the passion. I can't honestly say I can see myself doing anything else. And it's nice now to have spiders, because now I can get whatever spiders I want, you know, so with any money that we take, it just goes all straight back into more.
As you've gone from that 11-year-old boy keeping spiders into your 20s, which, you know, for me, I'm 43, so he's still a young lad, do you think you doing the business in it is kind of Luke maturing?
I think my dad would disagree with Luke maturing. Yeah, I've still got to do the maturing bit. But no, it's great, and I mean, for me, the highlights of the year are the tarantula shows. You know, getting to speak to like-minded people. Because I mean, my friends come over and they're used to me and the spiders now. But it's nice to be able to speak to people with the same interests and the same hobby, and somebody that understands the Latin names and actually what I'm saying to them. Yeah. So yeah, those are the highlights for me. But I don't really have any expectations for the future. But at some point, yeah, I could actually do with some help with the feedings and rehousing. So maybe at some point you could help me.
We've got that on film now.
Yeah.
Sweet. Definitely yes, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you had to keep, let's say, I suppose one species is not really good enough. Let's say one genus of spider out of God knows how many you've got here. Which one would that one be?
It would be a tough one. This always changes. But at the moment, I'm really big about my Posterior. Posterior for me are awesome. I mean, second to that, maybe Samapoas. I really like them. I mean, I've got a couple of females and most of them. The only ones I don't have is Emeraldus. So if anybody has female Emeraldus out there, drop me a message because I'd certainly be interested. And then there's also the Black Orchid, but I don't think that's available in the UK yet. But I'd have to probably say my Posterior. Yeah.
Just another thing I've just literally just only picked up on is if you could say the Samapoas again for me.
I could probably say it.
Awesome.
Samapoas.
So Luke says Samapoas, I say Samapoas. What I'm trying to show you guys is I understand what Luke's saying, he understands what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it as long as you get it across.
Yeah. I've been seeing some scientific names of species of spider for years, and I say hear someone else say it and I'm like,
I just carry on saying it however I do.
Yeah,
I don't because I mean the scientific names and the Latin names kind of mix together, aren't they? So there's no kind of right or wrong way of saying them. But I think the important thing is as long as you know what spider I'm trying to ask about, and I know which one you're talking about, what's it matter?
Yeah.
But my God, Luke, you are creating something here.
I'm trying. But there's always spiders on my wish list, and yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there.
We've got some. Luke's going to do a couple of pairings as well. So what I'll do is towards the end of this video is I'll whack them in, drop a bit of music over it or something like that. There's also a couple of little clips of some of Luke's spiders as well as a room. Just bear in mind that unfortunately a lot of the stuff's glass, so we get a lot of the reflection instead of the spider, which is a bit of a pain. But if any of you guys at home know how I can kind of get past that, maybe using a different lens or something like that, let me know down in those comments, because I would sort of really love that type of information.
Because
what this is just
I do so I really personally, for me, I know everybody has their enclosures that they like. For me, you can't go wrong with custom aquaria. Matthew is a really nice guy and I love these, so it would be quite nice actually at some point down the line, maybe 6 months down the line, to have you back over here and to show you what else I've done, because at the moment I'm changing over to the glass tank, so there's a lot of new stuff going on. And yeah, hopefully, as I say, 6 months time, then everywhere will just be the custom aquarium tanks, and there'll be a lot more to see.
They do look absolutely mint, and obviously Custom Aquaria has never really had a website or anything like that, but as Chris just found out earlier, he's actually opened up a website now, so go give Custom Aquaria a Google, go check out what he does, because these tanks are just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you've got the Exoterra there, but then when your spiders in your court
that's
park,
the problem with Postal Aquaria.
They only come out really to either put up the window or for feeding.
Yeah.
And these guys like that kind of claustrophobic atmosphere. And if you've got your, I mean, it proves it there. I mean, you can only get 2 exoterras on top of that rack here, whereas you get 4 on here, and you can go double back as well.
Yeah.
And they look mint when they're stacked up together.
I mean, it's nice when you come in really late at night and you turn the light on, because you can see them all scurrying back into their tubes. But as I said at the start, you know, with them all hidden away, they're happy. So I don't mind it too much.
It's just gobsmacking, because when I'm looking at these enclosures, there is literally thousands of sling pots behind.
Yeah.
Filled.
I like to have the gas ones at the front, so it looks nice, and then you've got all the sling pots at the back.
What would you say is your rarest that you've got for sale?
For sale? I mean, maybe the Zenithus Bright. I know there's not many of them about. As Chris is trying to sneak one into his pocket. Rarest, it's hard to say. I mean, there's some spiders at my dad's place. There's a Thericopelma species crucis. I think that's right.
Thericopelma species crucis, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's many of them about at all. I've also got Thericopelma Rio Sereno. I'm not sure if there's many of them about.
Isn't there a species blue on that as well?
I've not heard of that one. See, that's the thing. So you're really off spiders I haven't even heard about. So it's hard to say what the rarest is. I'd probably say the Bright at the moment.
I suppose the word rarest, it's like, for people who's going to spark up different ideas. When you say rarest, they're going to go, oh yeah, rarest outside of the hobby. But I suppose we're talking more like in the hobby, really, aren't we? This is just mental. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I want to change these ones over here. So this one is taped at the front here, because these are the Postlepharia. And it leaks through the bath. So these will be changed over to the custom aquarium. I'm going to have to give Matt another call. But that's the problem with the Postlepharia as well, is you've got to clean them tanks, because they don't poo on the ground, they poo on your glass.
Have you ever caught one? Because they literally will be on the cork bark, the bum angles, and it just goes poof.
Yeah.
And you think, you could have at least gone in the corner.
Yeah.
No, and it's always on the front, and it on the display, not
on
the sides, not the back.
So I've got quite lucky with these. So these ones have changed over recently to the glass, so they look nice. But give it a month, and that's going to be cake.
So if anybody's going onto your website and doing an order, and if they're anything like me, I always like to go, okay, so if you've bred something yourself, go to admit it's much nicer to take. Or to buy something like that. So what's on the website currently that our spiders have bred yourselves?
So the latest one is the Rufus. I'm going to be putting them on sale because we do have a few. I'm going to be updating the website tomorrow now. There's a few nice new bits that I'm putting on there. Won't ruin any surprises.
So that will be the day of this video comes out, because this video is coming out on the Monday.
Wicked. Yeah. So yeah, there will be a slight update then, and as I say, a few new bits going on. I forgot what your question was.
What have you bred yourself? Up
on
the website.
That's it. So the Rufus of what we've done. I've just taken a few things off the website that we bred actually, like the Rasty, because I'm down to my last few of them, so I'm growing them up. The Haplopus Columbian Small we bred, the Pentaloris on there we bred. It's been a bit of a slow year for the breedings actually. I
think everybody's noticed that. Yeah.
I know that Dave's had the same problem, and I mean that's unusual for Dave. But I've currently got the Pachilius marinus, which is the OBT for some of you guys. I've got that in an egg sac at the moment. I'm hoping that there's an egg sac up here in Vittori. She's blocked away now. I've got a Libidus on an egg sac, and we've got plenty of things mated, so hopefully we'll have a few more things on the website in the near future that we've bred ourselves. And I've got the Balfouri as well, that we've bred. Every time.
Didn't see nothing.
Yeah, it seems like at the moment, every time when we're going around and doing the rounds, we're finding egg sacs. I actually pulled off a female Pentaloris the other week, 'cause I hadn't seen her in a while, and there was an egg sac that I didn't even know about, and that had actually hatched in there, so that was enjoyable, sifting through the dirt to pick all them out. But yeah, it's going well. There's a few projects we're working on at the minute, so we'll keep them quiet, fingers crossed.
Quiet for now.
No, yeah. I don't want to tempt fate. There's a few exciting things going on. I probably shouldn't have said about the Vittori, but that's fine. We're going to touch some wood. There we go.
This is awesome. What temperature do you generally keep it at in here?
So I have my radiator. It depends with what pairings I've got going on. Sometimes I'll turn it up, but it's always set at 27. And as you move higher up the racks, it gets hotter and it's cooler lower down. So that's why all of the Persiphilia are around the top, because they like it nice and hot. These Metallicas here, so I've got the 2 females here. These are older ones. I've actually had these for about 10 years now as adults, so they're getting on a bit. And I've got 2 females there and another one there. They're all mated, so over the next couple of months I'll be up in the temperature a little bit, and hopefully I can finally breed Metallica. They're my bogey species. I haven't been able to do it yet, so fingers crossed.
Just to prove a point, look. Tons and tons of slings. It's a pretty good idea though. I like the idea of having all the display tanks and then putting the slings behind.
Yeah, and with the show, so obviously this weekend we've already started the prep, so we've already started boxing stuff up ready, and so that's just all at the back as well. This corner unit here is fantastic. The amount of spiders you can get on this unit is brilliant.
Do you worry much about kind of ventilation and stuff like that here, or what do you do to...
Not so much. So I open up the window. So I open up the window every time I come in here just to circle some fresh air in here. The ventilation, you mean on the spiders?
Yeah.
So
with the airflow across the whole...
Yeah, so with these I try and space things out a little bit. So the vents on the back have always got the airflow. I don't put 2 glass tanks in front of each other. But the airflow is pretty good. I haven't had any issues. It is with these here. I tell you what, honestly, each of these tubs here has probably 60, 70 holes in. So when you're going through 20 of them, that is a job. That is a part of the hobby which I don't like, drilling pots.
But then if you want a bigger collection, or if you're doing selling, these boxes are absolutely ideal and nothing wrong with them, is there?
No.
They're absolutely.
Are we back?
So, yeah, sorry for the little jump there. It's just basically one of the batteries has just gone in the camera, so we've popped the other one in to continue.
So yeah, going back to these. So I have got the custom Aquarius setups like this, but with the glass enclosures, that's more so for me, and it's nice for me to see. But there's nothing wrong with setups like this. So that's the true Siamese Smithy female there. But yeah, just lots of holes all the way around, and these are perfect. Perfect. We like to use a lot of really useful boxes. It's a shame that they're a bit murky, but with so many spiders, you can definitely do it cheaper than getting the proper enclosures. Yeah, they work just as good. There is no difference between the two whatsoever. The spider really doesn't care if it's in glass or plastic.
So somebody at the moment, obviously, you know, with your website, if somebody hasn't got a spider at all, what's on your website that you would literally go, well, it's this one?
So for a beginner, so for a beginner species, what's on the website at the minute? I think I've just sold the last Grammostola pulchra. In my opinion, the Grammostola pulchra is by far the best spider to start with. Not only are they big, bulky, impressive spiders, but they are so docile. I mean, I've packaged up now probably 40, 50 of them for posting. There is no signs of aggression from any of them whatsoever. I mean, going to the rosea, I get more aggression out of them.
Can't believe you're rosea.
Yeah.
Mate, that thing's on steroids.
Yeah. But I mean,
one angry spider.
But I would say they're Granosola pulchra for sure, and they're really, really hardy spiders. If you're looking for something arboreal, as we were saying, the aviculera. So aviculera, just like this female here, they are the most placid spiders.
Stunning,
they really
mate.
are.
Absolutely stunning.
I at one point had around about 50 at this size. Again, no signs of aggression from any of them whatsoever, and they love to go on a walk. The versicolor, just here, I tell you what, they are really good at going everywhere bar where you want them to go. Feeding the spiderlings of these, honestly, feeding the spiderlings of these, I would say 1 in every 2 ends up out the pot, and trying to get it back in the pot is the last place it wants to go. So anybody ordering versicolors, packing them is frustrating, shall we say.
So if you do order one, just have a little smile at the thought
Yeah.
of Luke panicking.
I'll have to do a little clip actually of me feeding some of the versicolors to show you exactly what I mean. They're wicked spiders, they're great fun.
This is something else, though, Luke. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For letting us in. Chris is behind the camera with Lewis. A big thank you to those guys. Chris is on wheels. Go check his channel out. If I don't mention him enough, he'll just shout at me. And Luke Pang is behind the camera. Again, massive thank you to you as well, Lewis. But yeah, thank you so much. It's been absolutely awesome.
You're very welcome. Welcome at any time. And being just down the road is brilliant.
Literally. Is there any of your links that you want to drop out before we?
I wouldn't say so. I'm trying to get better in my social media. I have actually just picked up a really good bit of kit. So with my camera, I've really had problems in getting those pictures onto my laptop. So I bought a little something. So now I should be posting a lot more. The social media is where I want to get a little bit better. I want to put little pictures on there. And not so much. If any of you guys are at the shows, always feel free to drop by, have a little chat. If you've got any questions, just drop me a message. Always happy to help. I want to do the outro that you do to your videos.
Go on then.
But no, I got... Okay, so there's only one thing left to say. We'll see you again on the next one.